You are not your past. And the only reason it feels as if you continue to live your past over and over again, the reason why it feels as if those thought patterns continue to haunt you is because you have not yet made the decision that this current moment, this very present moment, the beauty that is in this moment matters more than whatever it is that you have been holding on to. And I know what it's like to hold on to something for dear life, literally holding on to it for a lifetime, believing that it is serving me, believing that the anger that I'm holding on to is my only means of protection, believing that the only thing that is keeping me safe in this world is holding on to that resentment, holding on to that bitterness towards that situation or that circumstance, that if I just hold on to that bitterness, that anger, then that's not going to happen to me again. And I promise you this, and I say this from a place of absolute love. If you continue to hold on as you have, you will continue to get the exact same experience time and time again. I genuinely, I wish I could tell you that what you are doing right now is serving you. I wish I could tell you that, you can just go about life and continue to hold on to those memories, continue to hold on to those people, not let go of those emotions that you've been repressing and suppressing, and things are going to be fine and dandy. I wish I could tell you that. But you're probably already at a point in your life where you have experienced how those things will finally look for a way to express themselves. They will look for a way to ooze out of you, and they will start to affect the rest of your life for the rest of your life. I promise you that if you continue to hold on to your past will continue to hold on to you. And the only way that you will step into freedom is when you make a decision that freedom actually matters. There's a quote by Frederick Douglass, one of my favorite people in history. I keep a quarter in my wallet with his face on the back, right? Shout out to the new quarters that are coming out in America. And the quote goes as follows. It says, "Every day I used to pray for my freedom," right? Because he was a slave. If anybody doesn't know his story, former slave, buys his way out of slavery, becomes one of the biggest speakers and writers in America, best friends with the president, was Abraham Lincoln at the time. I mean, just a revolutionary, an abolitionist, a revolutionary individual, right? Also fellow Aquarius. But anyway, the quote goes as follows. "Every day and every night I used to pray for my freedom. But it was not until I started praying with my feet that I was actually free." Now, what that means is every day he used to be on his knees begging and begging to be free. But it was not until he made the decision to be free that he was free. It was not until he made the decision to walk, to take the steps, to take the actions necessary in order for him to actually be free. Now, does that mean that as soon as he started walking, there was no adversity? Absolutely not. Does it mean that, walking and taking those steps was not painful in the temporary? Absolutely not. But one thing I can guarantee is that his decision to walk out of that place of slavery was the best decision that he ever made in his entire life. And it will always be the greatest decision that we can make within our own. Holding on to the place that you are, even if it's become so comfortable, even if it has been comfortable, if it's the place that you recognize since you were an infant, since you were an adolescent, since you were a child, even if it is your comfort zone, it is also the very same place where you will remain miserable, where you will remain destructive, where you will remain absolutely saturated in toxic relationship after toxic relationship. There is nothing that can grow in that zone. And I don't even like that it's called a comfort zone, because when you really think about it, there is actually nothing comfortable about it. It is a place and a space of death, because there's nothing else happening in that place than that. And so for you to step into where you're supposed to be, the promised land in your life, the only way that is possible is when you finally accept that the past is the past. Let the dead bury the dead. Let that be behind you. Leave it behind. This isn't a message this ain't like a 1, 2, 3 step type of video. This isn't a video where it's like, a nice little squeaky clean. Like, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a therapist. I'm somebody who is walking this journey. I'm somebody who is in this path. I am the one who realized that he was holding on to his entire past. And I realized that my past was holding on to me. And I made the decision that my life was more important than whatever I believed I was getting from holding on to what was already done. The things that already had ensued. The things that I already had brought into manifestation in my life. I didn't have to hold on to those things anymore. The things I felt that I had done to others. It was time to let those things go. The things that I believe people did to me, how they wronged me, how they betrayed me. I had to make a decision that my freedom mattered more than holding on to those chains. And so I urge you at this moment. I don't just encourage you. I don't challenge you. This ain't a 30-day challenge. This is none of that. This is your life right now. I urge you to start looking at your life differently. To start looking at it not from look who did what to me. Not looking at it from a point and place of blame. Like what somebody deserves or the punishment that this person. Like the more you think about that person, don't you understand that you are giving that person life? You are giving that person energy. It's more than just room or rent in your head, right? We talk about, somebody's living in your head rent free. No, that person is occupying your very soul. Every time you make a decision to continue to perpetuate that old story and you choose to entertain those thoughts, when you're choosing, and I do repeat choosing because it is a choice. We choose our thoughts. When you are choosing to perpetuate that thought because you're used to it, because you have become so addicted to that emotion of anger, so addicted to that emotion of bitterness, so addicted to those emotions of the past, of unworthiness, of undeservedness, when you are so engrossed and ingrained in that place, I promise you, it is a curse unto yourself. Forgiveness has never had anything to do with the other person. It had to do with freeing yourself. You can't help what that other person does with their life. And forgiveness isn't about going into that other person's life and allowing abuse to perpetuate, allowing that person to do as they do. It is letting that person go, not just physically as most people do and think that it's over, it's a wrap. I left that person and so it's done. I blocked them on every app and so it's done. I blocked them on everything, including Venmo. So it's deeper than that. This is about emotional bondage. This is about spiritual bondage. You will not let that person go spiritually until you have forgiven that individual and yourself in the process. Because when you forgive them, you are doing it unto yourself. Just like when you judge somebody, you are judging your very self. When you insult somebody, you are only insulting yourself. You're the one who is saying these things or perpetuating those thoughts, and they're happening within you. You're the one who is creating that energy, putting that energy out there and attracting that very same energy back to you. And you wonder why you keep attracting narcissists? You wonder why you keep on attracting toxic individuals? It's because you're holding on to those demons. You're the individual who is choosing to hold on to those things that no longer serve you. What else do you expect but to attract that very same energy back into your life? And you have become the exact same thing that you despise. You've become the exact thing that you have held as the devil in your life, held as the evil in your life. You have become that very thing because you have put so much focus, so much attention and intention into holding on to it. You have chosen to hold on to the past, and so your past holds on to you. And I'm telling you right now, because we make too many excuses as people, and I'm honestly over it. I'm over the excuses because I love you too much and I love myself too much to make excuses and to lie to you and to coddle you, because this is real. This is your life we're talking about. I'm no longer going to make this excuse of it's easier said than done, because to be honest with you, it's just as easy to say as it is to do. It's just as easy to say as it is to do. Why? Because It is literally the story that you're telling yourself that is creating your life circumstance. So you are actually telling yourself whatever it is that you're living, whatever it is that you're perpetuating, that you are continuing in your life is nothing more than a story. A belief is nothing more than a thought that has been emotionalized for long enough until it has started to manifest in your day-to-day existence. That means it is a condition and can change and was meant to change a very long time ago. You were never meant to hold on to the past. You were never meant to hold on to anything that has already happened, good, bad, or indifferent. You're supposed to be living in this beautiful, brand new, right now moment, the now. This very moment has so much to offer you, yet you're blocking your own blessings by continuing to hold on to the things that have no longer been serving you, that never served you if you're really to get down to it. Your ego probably believed that you are being served because it is based in fear. It is the part of you that only knows survival. Therefore, its entire premise, its entire basis is in fear. The anger never served you, even though it seemed like the only way you got attention or the only way that you got somebody to finally do something that you wanted them to do was through anger. In the long term, you finally realize, or maybe you realize, maybe you haven't realized this yet, but the change that happened was temporary and it was insignificant in the long run because the person probably continued that same behavior. Why? Because you had not done that inner work to heal from those wounds that allowed you to allow yourself to be disrespected time and time again. And so you thought that by changing something on the screen, on the monitor of your life was going to make a difference when the only thing that you can change is within yourself. The movie is already playing out, but it's based on the beliefs that you're holding on to. You have to change the literal tape that is playing. The literal tape of your life has to be changed in order for what is displaying on that screen to change. Now, that might sound a little deep right now, but if you really just peep what I'm saying, it's really not that deep. It's so simple. It's so basic. It's so straightforward. The beliefs that you hold on to, the beliefs that you perpetuate for yourself are going to manifest as the life experience that you have. And the beliefs you're holding on to, the thoughts and the emotions that you're putting out and projecting, those of the past, are creating the world that you have right now. I have to turn up on y'all because I have to turn up on me every single day. I have to remind myself at deeper and deeper levels that there is nothing that is worth the price of my peace. If it is, if it's costing me my peace, like there's a quote that says, if it's costing me my peace, then it's too expensive, right? And I agree with that, but for me, it's a layer deeper than just, it's too expensive. There is no price that you can put on my internal state. There's no price that you can put on how I feel about me, on how I move through life. There is nothing that you can give me that would allow me to sell that part of myself, not even for a moment. And so me knowing that I'm the only one who is choosing this, and for you now knowing that you're the only one who is choosing this experience, why would you let the small price of getting just a little feeling of power, fake power, false control, a little piece of false control be the price that you pay for your peace? Nah, can't do it.